Welcome to the Naked Gospel, where shame has no power, God's glory is boundless, and we get to carry that story in our bodies. Here we have conversations about sex, singleness, marriage, pornography, parenting, everything beyond and in between. We're featured on every major podcast platform, as well as YouTube. So please like, subscribe, share, so that you can join the movement that is already achieving a revival of sexual integrity throughout the entire kingdom. Welcome back to the Naked Gospel. I'm Whaler, here with my main man, Nick, talking about a thing that you unfurled years ago. How is it that we set out to accomplish the mission, the vision of the ministry? How do we make things happen? How do we do more than we used to? And you began what has only ever been referred to as the Protector Initiative.
Yes, the Protector Initiative. So the short version is that I am convinced that we are at the cutting edge of the necessity for transformation, restoration, and revival in our culture today. To see a revival of sexual integrity throughout the entire bride of Christ. We have unpacked ad nauseum the amount of humanity impacted by the brokenness of sexuality. And so we set out to accomplish a very large, hopefully not impossible mission. And some people might find it hard to imagine that we have not yet found our benevolent billionaire who wants to invest in this vision and mission. And so what we built, because we are primarily donor funded, was what we call the Protector Initiative. And the Protector Initiative is a way to invite our network, our grads, our constituents, the people that catch this vision and mission. They see their marriage transformed. They've seen a friend's marriage transformed or life transformed. As I've said, these stories have been in the many, many thousands at this point. And we basically said, let's give you a key to the office, for lack of a better term. Let's give you the door that you can open up and see behind the ministry curtain. We want you to feel like you're on the front lines. You are on the front lines with us. We want to hook you up with some really cool swag, which we have actually for this episode laid out on the table. We want you to rep this movement in public when you move through the world. We have connected it to this team environment. You're locking arms with other protectors. I think at the moment right now we have about 175 protectors, and disruptors are equally another tier of that. And frankly, what it is a monthly investment team where, yes, you're investing into this mission and vision. You are, as my family, the Libertos, regularly invest in the kingdom of God because we're looking to see him transform the world around us, and we invest as protectors. You're investing with your hard-earned dollars to transform the world alongside of us. But more than that, you are given missions for your community. You are hooked up with swag. We show you everything behind the curtain. You get our cell phone numbers. You get unadulterated 24/7 access to the team. And I mean, even recently, you and I had the great pleasure of going and hanging out with our frontline protectors in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we just had an awesome bonfire hang session where we dreamed and vision cast for what God has for the future and what he's done in their lives. And in short, no one is bragging at Christmas dinner about donating to Proven Ministries. It is so imperative, yet still incredibly stigmatized. And Nana doesn't want to hear how you're giving to, sexual integrity ministry to help people struggling with pornography, lust, and masturbation, and to see a revival of sexual integrity. So, to be very frank, we have a huge hurdle. I have gotten to work alongside of other nonprofits that don't have the hurdle that we have, which is the stronghold that the enemy has in this area. Makes it so that if you're struggling, you're hiding in isolation and you don't want to reach out and you don't want to talk about it. And churches aren't going to go near this with a 30-foot pole. But let alone investment potential. People often ask, well, can't you get grant money? And I say, we have the universal, like, ancient, horrible cross of the two things. We are faith-based and we do things with sex. No one is coming near us in grant world, at least corporately. And so this is not a doom and gloom story. This is in my opinion, one of the most favorite things I've ever created in a decade of this ministry. And it's let's make a Navy SEAL team of individuals locking arms, men and women, who are saying, yes, we're going to see a revival of sexual integrity. Yes, we're going to rep this movement. Yes, we're going to invest a small amount monthly. The protectors, it's $25 a month. The disruptors, it's $5 a month. You might think that that's not a lot, but multiply that by 175. And if you're listening and you haven't joined yet, as we unpack this conversation, my prayer is we get into the thousands, because I can happily sacrifice a coffee a month of my budget and invest into this imperative work. So what is your perception 3 years in now, Whaler, of the Protector Initiative and the Disruptor Initiative?
Yeah. Well, I grew up in all things church culture. So you see the building campaign, right? We got to put another wing on the education building, or we've outgrown the sanctuary. We got to build a bigger space. Watching my parents in Christian radio for a lot of their careers, fundraising season is just size of life. Once or twice a year, the radio is not going to keep broadcasting if you don't have the fund drive going on. And it's never hard to get people incentivized about why they're throwing money at this thing, right? With the church programs, you get to see the real estate expand. With the radio side of things, you get to attend the concerts, right? There's physical demonstrations of where your money has gone. There's also a radio station to visit, right? If you want a place to drop your check off, it's like, oh, this is where the magic happens. And I can hear it on the radio right now. We have a peculiar difficulty in that we don't get the Sally Struthers, Sarah McLachlan, sad-looking kids, lonely puppies. You know, we can't make a montage of sad, lonely-looking dudes that need help escaping the plight of pornography. It sounds funny to describe because there's that much aversion to it in our culture. We don't have the Compassion International refrigerator magnet kids. So there's nothing that lives in the kitchen as a constant reminder that right there is where our money's going. The work that we do is so impactful, so needful, and so underserved. And yet there's still this aversion to wanting to be involved with it. So the only people that have really been involved with us in a giving capacity are folk that have been directly impacted by the ministry, or family members of those individuals that are grateful for the transformation that they've seen. I think the most removal we ever experienced was the executive of a company that saw a bunch of his guys being transformed. He was like, well, this is interesting. I'm seeing all these books. What's going on? And then when he heard about us, he's like, yeah, I'm all in on that. That was exceptional. Everybody else, there's had to be direct impact or secondary observation of it. And that doesn't give us any tertiary means of how do we demonstrate the good that's being done, so that people that are completely removed can still be incentivized to participate. And so the thing that's limited us is only growing by immediate impact, right? Having the geometric growth of the organic expansion that we've seen in the ministry. There's no national campaign to run. You see it the same way?
I do. And for someone listening, I think the closest we can get to the like national level campaign, which I don't think we can still achieve, is the anti-sex trafficking movements. Because you can run a national campaign saying like, let's protect these women that are being trafficked, invest, and we'll go do that. And I can confidently say after a decade that the amount of sex trafficking we have thwarted because of our investment into reducing the demand is immeasurable.
Yep.
And yet, it still is not an attractive slogan or pitch to give. And so you're not wrong. We've unpacked this so much at length. I think once we deep dove every donation that has ever been given, and less than half of 1% were people that never had heard of us before,
Mm-hmm.
but were excited about the fact that we do what we do, and they invested a little bit. And so that was an interesting telltale sign for us because, to your point, we are semi-forced to grow differently.
Mm-hmm.
We are forced to grow slow, which, if I'm honest, I kind of like the challenge. We can never get out over our skis in a good way, and every person who invests is so encouraged. Again, we do our best to kind of share these stories because we want every person to know that we are where we are because you have locked arms with us, and you have said this matters more than so much more. And if I may speak candidly, and you can suggest I am biased, but I will share with you that I suggest that I am not biased. After a decade of this work, and after my family and my own income is invested, because I'm very passionate about investing in the kingdom. My wife and I, we donate to all sorts of different things. It is one of my, because I do this for a living, I prioritize stewardship. I want to see where these donor dollars are going. I want to see how I am helping advance the kingdom of God here and now. And I have not yet found of an organization that is doing a better job of stewardship and human impact. Like, we give to Compassion, and we love sponsoring our 2 children that we have had sponsored for the last 10 years, and we'll never stop. But when I look at the array of the options when we're looking to invest more in areas, of course, we are still upping our investments into Proven, but that goes back to my point. I literally sit down with my wife, Brittany, and I'm like, honey, I don't know where our donor dollars are getting more traction for the kingdom than Proven and maybe a very small few others that I have had to work very hard to find. And again, I've served on boards. I've consulted for other nonprofits. They're all doing great work. But I don't know, for the Libertos, for Nick, for me, I want to see the most amount of juice squeezed out of every dollar for the kingdom. And that's just a high priority bar that I've set, which I like because that allows us to create the Protector Initiative and to work at Proven Ministries in such a way where, if you've ever given and you're listening to this right now, you have probably heard from my mouth or from a text message from me as we commit to steward every dime and dollar to impact the most amount of families possible. I can stake my life on that claim here at Proven, and I'm just so proud of that. And I don't know, for someone listening, I would say challenge me on that. Let's go, because I'll open up all the books and I will show you the thousands of testimonies. We were at our hang in Charlotte, North Carolina with our protectors, and we were just marveling over God's story of one of our very first OG guys, who, by the way, was our first tattoo, who marked himself with the PM. I did not tell him to do that, and has been a protector with us. But the story of, and I've been here for 10 years, so I've got to watch it for this length of time, his discovery, his personal transformation, his marriage transformation. He's now leading. He's now helping other men. He is now this massive beacon for the kingdom in his community. I'm just going to claim it. We had a huge part to play in that. God was the agent moving, but he asked us to play a huge role, and he would agree. And so it's just cool to see, man, if we could do that 1,000 times, 1,000,000 times with the work that we do day in and day out, that just gets me excited.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like you said, the work that we're doing is stopping the problem at the source.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad the anti-trafficking agencies exist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really glad that the policy organizations exist. If I ever get pushback on what somebody is getting
when they give their money to us. And I mean that not on a swag level, although that is wonderful, but on a conscientious level.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what reassurance do they get that their kingdom money has kingdom impact?
Mm-hmm.
Because what they want is save the women, change the law.
Mm-hmm.
Good things. In our space, we're fixing the problem that precipitates either of those eventualities.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, stopping the demand so that there is no market. And that's exactly the conversation that we had with David Paterka of When the Saints out of Malawi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for years, they've had a beautiful intervention ministry saving girls from trafficking. Hard stories, really hard stories with him. And for all the years of pulling girls out, the heartache they had was finding that anytime they pulled a girl out, there was another girl waiting to be trafficked back in. And so there was this ugly cycle of, yeah, they could save one, but then somebody else was going to fill the exact same hollow. If they had a collaborated night where the police did a sting operation and saved 20 girls, and this was one of the stories, 20 girls, and then they were able to find housing for all 20 of them. They don't have a lot of infrastructure, so it's difficult. The lady, and that's a surprise to many people, it wasn't a guy that was running that house.
Yeah.
It was a lady. It was a madam that was running that facility. She gets arrested, prosecuted, and what would have been, you would think, no less than 5 years. And like, that's still a very low punishment. I think the youngest girl in that rescue was, I think 7 from that particular night. When the Saints has dealt with 3 and 4-year-olds being rescued. So as heinous as it gets. But here's a lady that is trafficking prepubescent girls for that kind of usage, for that kind of dehumanization. She's out of jail in less than 6 months and opens up another house for more servicing. That was a crisis in the conscience of the When the Saints leaders. It's like, we did this amazing stuff, and in the end, she's able to go out and operate all over again. And that was when they had the realization the only real lasting impact was to change the hearts of the men where they live.
Yep.
Because only then would those kinds of men stop seeking out those kinds of encounters, stop victimizing the girls. And that led to them discovering us because they wanted help. What do we do with these guys? How do we get them to stop looking for sex this way? How do we cultivate men that are faithful husbands and good fathers in the home? So it's begun a beautiful partnership with them. And for me, that was vindicating because I could easily have the insecurity. I hear about this organization in Malawi that's boots on the ground doing this rescue stuff. I was like, oh, am I actually fulfilling my purpose in this life? And then they're looking for us because there's a hollow place that needs us. So vindicating. Like, I needed that. I needed that encounter. While I don't like those stories at all, it was validating to see this org leader needing us because it wasn't complete until it has this transformative impact on the hearts of the men. And let's be fair, there are women that do it as well, but by and large, men are the traffickers and the abusers and the users. And so the person that would say, what are you doing for the victim? What are you doing for policy? We're going to the beginning of all of that, which is the heart. You can change the policy and you will stop some of the harm. In many cases, it just shifts the locality of where the harm happens. It's like, okay, yeah, now it is more illegal, but it is still occurring. When you're helping the victim, until you have upended the industry, you've just created a cycle of victims. Good work, let's keep doing it, but it's not going to change until we've had a transformation of the hearts of the evildoers. And so I've liked it a lot whenever some of the guys have committed to us and they've become a protector. I didn't give them this language. This was coming from them. They said, I spent enough years throwing money at the evil. Now this is penance. Now I'm throwing money at the kingdom, fighting against the evil. And so for them, it is a matter of conscience to become a protector because previously they had been a predator and their money went to predation.
Mm-hmm.
And that's actually the source. That's the origin of the name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Coming from one of Joel's stories.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you should definitely unpack that. I'm a little blurry on that story, but I like to just still to this day marvel at the name. Names mean something,
Mhm.
and it's like, don't be a predator, be a protector.
It was
And
one of the pastors Joel was counseling.
okay, what was that story?
He got caught in all the skeezy.
Yeah.
And so Joel becomes his battle buddy. And in one of the early sessions, the pastor was weeping and he was grief stricken. And in the sobs, he said, I'm supposed to be a protector, not a predator.
Mm.
Years later, we would found the Protector Initiative.
Mhm.
You would jettison that as a means of this is how exactly you can rally with us. This is the Patreon of sexual integrity, right? This is the Kickstarter of the sexual integrity campaign.
Exactly, yeah, and I love the name so much because it really does speak to what we are building. We are building, and with the person listening now who is not yet with us, by all means, sign up. The links will be below and around, but an army of protectors. The amount of times that we have unpacked this of like a man walking through the world who is a protector. He is safe. He can care for the most innocent, the most weak. It is the ultimate Christian man. I'm just going to go ahead and say it is the protector. And there's not enough of them in our world today. And I want an army of protectors, as I myself am one. And this is obviously not a message just to men. Let us be very clear. We have many women that are investing in the same way. The brokenness of sex and sexuality and this distortion is everywhere throughout children, family, marriages, and we are solving it. You have this line that if you lean in and you do the work, it always works. How does that line go that you say? Vision, intention, and means, and then anyone who applies themselves, like you always come out the other side transformed. It's something like that I've heard you say it before. It doesn't exactly matter what the words are, but what I'm trying to
I
say,
want to sound smart.
what we do works. And there is a testimony of thousands and thousands of people. And we do our best as stewards of this ministry to make sure we're broadcasting that. Salvations, transformations, marriages restored, divorces kept from happening, children given the gift of a defense and walking through the world in such a way where they don't have the same kind of struggle that I had. We really are, and I mean this so intensely, trying to work ourselves out of a job. May we get to experience the day where we have so many protectors and so many disruptors who have joined these frontline teams of Proven Ministries that just like the multi-billion-dollar behemoth that is the porn industry and the OnlyFans, and like you said, it just goes in different places. It never disappears. You cut the head off and 5 more come back. We are going to the source, which is the heart of men and women, and saying, let's give these people the keys to the ministry, the power and the tools and the equipping necessary to protect in their proximity. And I should be a pastor. I'm on the alliteration train right now. PPPs. Let's go. But I mean it. We're going to change the world. We will not change the world if we do not have protectors raise their hand and say, sign me up. It's the classic corny Lord of the Rings, which we were quoting in our Hang with Our Protectors, is you have my sword and you have my bow and you have my axe. Yeah. Yes, I'm a nerd and I like Lord of the Rings, but we are changing so much. And let me just say one other thing, because again, if you've ever given, you know this to be true. Every year I film a video where I show you every dime and dollar we spend. We have the most transparency I've ever found in any nonprofit in 37 years. People applaud us for that, and I will proudly take that one because I will literally say, here's the books.
Yep.
What would you like to see that we spend on stamps, on marketing, on paper clips? I have it all byline item by byline item, but here's why. We will be the most perfect steward of the Lord's money. It's not our money. As the Libertos give to Proven, it's not our money. It's the Lord's money.
Mhm.
And we at Proven Ministries commit and pledge and promise to steward with maximum effectiveness to advance the kingdom of God and the good news of gospel freedom. And I will stand on that soapbox all day long and proudly say, come check me, because it's so much better than anyone I know. And to be frank, the Libertos, my family, we give to 10, 11 different entities. And this is really not kind, but whenever I give, I'm like, how are you doing with my dollars? And I'm on the lookout. It's like, how are you showing me how you like? And I'm always not pleased, and I'm always unimpressed, and I'm always like, we're giving you how much money? You can do better at telling me how you're using these investments to accomplish your mission and vision. And this is not me telling you don't go give somewhere else. But let me just say, I am saying all this to say we are the best stewards I've ever found.
A person will not have that question if they find themselves as a protector with us.
Never.
They know exactly where it goes. And we get cool feedback whenever they get these kind of audit reports.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, one year we sent out photos of repairs we had done to the van, right?
Yep.
There was a dashboard component that the dealership quoted a ridiculous fee. And then we found our own workaround of there's this company online. We've got to do a little bit of install, but it's a lot cheaper if we do it. And then we took a picture of the tires with a penny in the tread, showing that we got down like every nanometer that we could before, as a matter of safety, we absolutely had to replace the tires. Our supporters appreciated that because there's no like, we're not driving around a Benz, you know? The ministry van is a battle axe. Ugly as sin, but super reliable. I like that thing a lot. And that's the size of life, is it does cost us money to get places to do this work. Nobody is yet paying us to go to conferences.
Mm-hmm.
But if we don't go to the conferences, if we don't go to the churches, the word doesn't get out. Because presently, the churches are not yet making noise about this, which is the greatest of all problems throughout the people of God. If there is a day where it has once again become normal that churches have a robust culture of sexual integrity, they have curriculum for intervention, they've got a culture for ongoing, this is how we do life together, the kids are being raised in it, the men and women that are struggling, they have means to get out of it. If we get to see that day, you and I will have the wonderful problem of what are we doing for employment afterward?
And may that day come quickly.
We do not need to be here for the rest of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
As much as we are privileged to be here, our objective is not to make this a lifelong racket. Our objective is to make ourselves irrelevant, because the local churches have become substantial in this regard.
Yeah, I mean, the most recent statistic in the most recent Barna study that was conducted was something like only 7 or 8% of churches have anything for sexual integrity for their people.
I remember you saying that it increased to 12.
Okay, sorry.
So it used to be 8.
It used to be 8 when I got the job.
Yeah.
10 years later, we got to 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's been an uptick of 4% over 10 years,
Mhm.
and we still have only 12% of churches saying they have anything for sexual integrity.
And then I would go back to even Proven's Barna statistics that we paid to do, which were very expensive in 2014, was trying to get a read on the Christian population and how much they're struggling with pornography.
Mm-hmm.
What we found, what so many people have found, is that the paraphrase version, Christians struggle just as much as non-Christians. If I could wave a magic wand and get one wish, it would be that Proven would be so well funded that we could, in 10 years, which by the way, we could do this, Like, actually, in 10 years, we could create an environment where Christians look significantly different in their sexual integrity walk around space than the rest of the world, i.e., we become the lighthouse we are called to be in the world in this area. And I confidently can say we could do this. Like, actually, we have gotten so good at rubbing two pennies together and changing lives. By golly, the things we could achieve and will achieve. And so part of that excitement is the way I'm wired is I want to solve problems. And this is the biggest top 5 problems plaguing our world today. Oh, and by the way, we solve it constantly, day in and day out, with hundreds and thousands of people each and every year. If I mean, like, let's just be really frank. If all I could do was wave a magic wand and triple the amount of people that come to our website, oh my goodness, we would just triple the amount of people we would impact. So, like, it does sound granular, but we have so refined our capabilities of stewardship, of support, of caring, and walking with people to freedom that if I just threw money at that problem, we would see a boon in transformation, a boon in marriage restoration, a boon in individuals walking in freedom. And so it is cool to think that as we discuss this and someone listening to this is possibly considering, and I would encourage you to consider becoming a protector or a disruptor and joining our frontline fighter teams, is that we have spent 10 years building a Ferrari. It is so clean. It is polished. It is humming. I have spent time measuring with calipers that you can only custom get to measure the smallest diameters of measurements, that this sucker is firing on all however many cylinders are in this vehicle. 12, 8, whatever.
At least.
At least. It is ready. And we just need gas. If I could, take my hat off as the executive director and be like, just give me an org that could say that to me. We're ready. Everything is in place. We just need gas at our gas tank, and we're going to go change and transform and cruise. It's like, I just love that. As an investor, as a Christian looking to advance the kingdom of God with not only my time, but my resources, which are all his anyway, all the Lord's anyway. So if you're thinking about it, let me just tell you, this Ferrari is ready to go. And our gas tank, thank you, donors. If you're listening to this and you are an investor, you helped us build this Ferrari. We would not have it without you. The Lord and your investment dollars have allowed us to build this life transformation through the Lord and his Holy Spirit, and his word is ready. And now we need to go from 1/8 of a gallon of gas in the tank, and let's fill this bad boy up. And that's that simple. And it sounds so bad to say it this way, but I mean it. We will print life transformation, like, actually. And I'm just excited about that. Like, find me another org that could say that.
Just by dumb luck, right?
The X-Men shirt. Tell me more.
Yeah. Hopefully there's no.
Whaler is wearing an X-Men OG t-shirt right now for those listening on audio.
I am an old school Wolverine kid,
Let's go.
going way back to middle school days. One of his classic one-liners is, "I'm the best there is at what I do,
Oh, this is so good.
and what I do isn't very nice."
I'm so here.
What we do is very difficult. It's not easy work. Rewarding, but not easy. And I think we've become pretty exemplary at how we comport ourselves. The disciplines that we assume, and then the efficacy that we achieve. I don't want to throw sand at anybody out there, but I can tell you we have an absolutely clean conscience in the work that we do and how we do it. And we do still need some help in achieving the mission, which is to achieve a revival of sexual integrity throughout the entire bride of Christ. That should be business as usual. And that's the tragedy of our day,
Mhm.
is that God's people do not look much different in their sexual ethic from the surrounding culture. We have to change that. When somebody comes a protector, we get closer.
And we are changing that. Every life, every person that we have impacted, and everyone that will reach out today and tomorrow, we are moving that needle. And if you're considering becoming a protector, and if you are a protector and you're listening to this, first and foremost, thank you. You are making a huge difference. But if you want to join that team, if you want to lock arms with us in that way, with me, with us, with Whaler in that way, then become a protector. Let us show you how good we are at what we do. That line from Wolverine is so perfect. Say it again.
I'm the best there is at what I do, and what I do isn't very nice.
Because we, as I like to say, are the Navy SEAL level frontline fighter in the trenches, in the darkest, in the disgusting, in the most difficult work for his kingdom. We go there. That is where we are called. And it is a privilege. It is hard, but not many people find themselves there, and you have to be called and you have to be trained, and our protectors are with us locking arms in that fight. And it does sound a bit of a manly tone and language, but this is not in any way saying women don't lock arms with us, let's go. But for something in me, something primal in me gets really excited when you can say, I want you to be in the darkest, most difficult, and most dangerous part of this battle.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's dark. It's grim. It's gritty. Oftentimes it's gross. And that's where we have to be. There is no pleasant arrangement. There's no, let's insulate this with cotton candy. It's like where the work happens initially is pretty rough. Where it goes after that, wonderful to behold.
Exactly.
Yeah. I think, as you're saying, there's not a lot of people that are equipped to be able to do this sustainably. There's a tendency to burn out. There's some hard days. There's plenty of things I wish I could forget. I really wish I could forget. But then it is counterbalanced and even outshined by the scenarios where you would think there's no way they come back from this. And they do. And then they become ambassadors. It's not just that their life is saved. Like, they become frontline guys. They become the door kickers. I'll keep showing up for that.
Yes, and amen. And so if you've listened this long and you're still here, I want to ask you, will you become a protector? Invest with us. Rep this amazing swag. We have so many people. We've had someone else tattoo this big No More Victims logo on their calf. And so, Zach, you're awesome if you're listening. And so join with us. Sign up at the link below. If you have questions, reach out and email us. Again, I'll show you everything. We are hiding nothing. But man, I want to see us double, triple, be in the thousands of protectors saying, we're locking arms. I'm happy to sacrifice a coffee or one meal out to eat a month for that mission and for that vision. And to be frank, I would love to have someone sign up as a protector for $1,000 a month. But by golly, $25 a month, and we can still change the world.
Yep.
So let's go. Like, we do have protectors in at higher levels. If you really want to get to the nuts and the bolts of it, and 25 is a little much, that's why we built the Disruptor initiative. You get a really cool Disruptor mug, and it's only $5 a month. And then if you want to, it's kind of fun. If you want to migrate up to the first tier of protector swag, apparel, we'll call it a uniform maybe, $25 a month, and you get this, it's kind of like a brownish, awesome tan t-shirt. And this is a way to say thank you. This is your uniform. This is your, we hook you up with missions every month. We give you other swag throughout the year. I'm just going to speak to someone considering it for a moment. This is not, thank you for your money. Now we go do the work. We'll talk to you next year. This is, here's what we're doing day in and day out. Here's something you could do this month, this week. Oh, by the way, here's a story of transformation. Oh, by the way, here's a handwritten letter saying, here's what we did that you need to hear about. Oh, by the way, here's a video. And then if you're like, oh, I'm in, let's go. And you want to get the most premium sweatshirt I could ever find as a way to honor our protectors, and you come in at $50 or more a month, you get this awesome green sweatshirt. And I literally just had somebody over the weekend say, this is the best sweatshirt I've ever owned. And I'm like, well, that's good, because that was my goal. And so as you're thinking about this, as you're praying about this, as you're considering it, this is not me saying do something I don't do. My wife and I contribute heavily monthly to this organization, and we'll be doing much more in the near future. And join with us, join with me, become a protector. Let us show you how you can be so surprised with the amount of lives and kingdom impact that you will usher in through you investing and stewarding the Lord's resources he's given you to Proven Ministries. Because it's not us, it's the Lord's. Proven Ministries is the Lord's. So it's really, you're just taking the Lord's money that he gave you and you're giving it back to the Lord at Proven Ministries. And he is moving in such a way where we will steward every dime and dollar to impact the most amount of lives possible with the good news of gospel freedom. And I can confidently say that I will blow you away. He will blow you away. And maybe one day you will be bragging at Christmas to Nana about how you give to this amazing organization. Thank you for being here. Click the link below. Become a protector today. Become a disruptor today. And I look forward to talking to you personally. And Whaler will talk to you personally. And we will get to know you once you sign up, because you are locking arms with us. Thank you so much.